All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the Ultimate Metal Show with your hosts, Brian Mendigo and Zeak Lascano.
Yo.
Hello.
Yeah, y'all know what that is?
Man, it sounds familiar.
You got to know now. Man, I can't believe you didn't catch it from the riff, man. You guys are just too metal is what it is. You've lost your...
For some reason, I was thinking Michael Schenker, but I don't think it is.
Man, that was George Lynch, man.
That's what I thought. I knew I was going to say George Lynch.
That was Mr. Lynch.
That's good stuff. I saw Doc in many mootons ago.
I loved Doc when I was a kid, man. I never got to see him.
Oh, yeah.
But now I don't want to see him, bro.
Yeah.
I've seen some of their YouTube videos. It's a little scary.
Yeah, never got to see him.
Yeah. How old are you, Zeke?
I'll be 42 in August.
Oh,
yeah,
so
next month.
So he's the baby of it.
Dinosaur there. Mini Diney. You know what happens after 40.
Well, this is our first airing of the Ultimate Metal Show. I keep wanting to say the Appetite for Discussion show because I've been filming those for the last month, and I'll give Brandon a little plug on that one. But
oh yeah, good dude.
It's a good show, good dude. But tonight is the Ultimate Metal Show.
Ultimate Metal.
Yeah, you say it better than I do, Brian. Maybe I should let you do it.
Ultimate Metal Show.
We need some three-way harmonizing. Come on, Zeke, get in on it.
Metal.
Oh, he's got the real. Well, as we have done a tradition here at Statesvegas Radio for our inaugural show is a inaugural shot. So we're going to toast to the evening and toast to our show, and hope you guys out there in Radio Land, Facebook Land, YouTube Land enjoy what we got to say. If not, the hell with you.
Some good Irish whiskey.
Well, thank you for having me.
Good old Irish
Thank
whiskey.
you.
Welcome,
Cheers.
guys.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Cheers.
It's pretty smooth. A little warm, but
That's good. I like it.
it'll clear those vocal cords up.
Oh.
What's wrong, Brian?
I just drink beer.
It's been a while since you've had a little heat.
Back in the younger days, I used to, hit the Ritz, but oh, good Lord.
All right, man. So let's do some introductions here. We got Brian Mendigo, the lead singer of Black Demize. And we're going to talk a little bit about him in this show. We're actually going to feature you and your band in this show, even though you're the host. So. and in our future shows, we'll be featuring other local and regional artists.
Absolutely.
Part of the show, and then we're going to talk metal and the rest of the show, I guess. Maybe.
Metal.
Yeah. Maybe listen to a few tunes here and there.
Let me introduce El Captain over here, El Capitan.
El Lascano.
El Capitan.
Ezekiel Lascano.
Yes.
Right, we call him
hello.
Zeak. Zeak is the encyclopedia to
Not really.
Really?
But
metal.
I love metal and rock and roll,
I'm
yes.
telling you what, he has the library of tunes to prove it, and you can ask him about it.
Well, I was really hoping that Zeke had that ability because, he's still young and the memory might be a little fresher than mine. I know the music, but sometimes I get, band members, names, name of songs and stuff. I'm like, a little confused. So it'd be nice to have him, the go-to guy in here.
Yeah.
If not,
who sang this in what year and what city?
If not, we got that unseen guest Google we can go to.
Yeah, don't put me on the spot, Brian. I don't know everything. Come on.
We got that phone. Who sang that song? Yeah. But anyway, Black Demize. Brian, tell us a little bit about it, man. You guys got a new album out, or EP, I guess.
Yeah. It's a newly released EP. I like it.
Well, of course you do.
Well, no, actually, I like it.
You think it's your best work?
I don't like listening to myself, so I like the music. Let me put it that way. And some people might even agree with me. But
Brian does a good job, but the music is really good.
Yeah, the music is really
good.
good.
We've been playing a few of the tunes on Statesvegas Radio and our Ultimate Metal nighttime show. Could use a few more listeners. Hopefully, we'll get some more after this talk show we're doing here. But how did this 4-song EP come about? Is this isn't your first EP or first album?
Well, with these guys, yes.
With this lineup.
With this lineup, I was in previous original bands and covering tribute bands. In fact, Zeak and I here, we did a Judas Priest tribute band for quite some time. Had a blast, up and down.
Well, what was Zeke's part in that? Your guitar
Zeke plays
player?
drums.
Oh,
Drums,
drummer.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Judas Priest is very difficult, so
I
yeah,
can
but it was fun to
Yeah.
play.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, all the way from New York down to Atlanta. I mean,
Now,
every place in between.
They don't have their original drummer right now, do they?
No, they got Scott Travis now.
Yeah,
No.
but he's been with them for a while, like
Yeah,
25 years.
30 years at least.
30.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Because I know
Yeah.
there was a lot of talk about them being down to 2 original members now, because I guess
Yeah.
you can one guitar.
Pretty
player
much, yeah,
got
Rob
Alzheimer's
Halford.
or something.
Yeah,
The bass player, yeah.
Ian Hill.
Yep.
Ian Hill,
Yep.
so.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the Black Demize
okay.
band here. Let's not get sidetracked.
Well,
Tell us about your band mates. Who's your?
All right.
We're talking about Zeke's drumming skills. Do you have a equally awesome?
Better.
Oh no, well.
yeah, Steven Starnes, he's on the drums. He's pretty damn good. He's kind of got a jazz style, wouldn't you say, or
Really?
something?
Wow.
He's really good. I like the way he plays. I mean, a lot of double kicks and use the toms a lot.
Who would you compare him to as far as metal? Any
Honestly, I don't
comparisons? I know
know.
it's you guys don't like to do that because
I
I'm
don't.
sure he doesn't want to be known for emulating anybody.
No,
but-
not really. He's got his own style, to tell
Really?
the truth.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
which is hard to come by.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
There's a lot
Everybody's
of guys out
trying to
there.
be Tommy Lee or trying to be,
Portnoy or-
Yeah, exactly.
where he just does his own thing, and sometimes it's like,
Yep.
wow, but it works. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Hey.
It's
He's entertaining to watch too, so he's very
Yeah.
good.
Right. And
Yeah.
you've
Yes.
got dual guitar players, right?
yeah. Billy Franklin and Eric Woodrum, both great guitarists.
And which ones they switch? They
Oh yeah.
switch
They
off
both
leads?
play. Yeah, they
Oh,
both
really?
play leads and they switch off rhythms,
That's
and
cool.
I mean it's the transition live.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? From lead to rhythms to lead to rhythm from back and forth is just remarkable. To be honest with you, it's flawless. And when it comes to their sound, they both have a distinct sound that's different and a different style of playing as well.
For some of the equipment junkies out there, not to get off track. I know we still got the bass player to talk about, but what kind of
don't wanna
guitars?
do that.
What kind of guitars? Well, yeah, who cares about him?
Bass.
What are guys playing? Do you know? I mean, are they
I think one of them
Jacksons
is
or
Mars. Oh, you talking about guitars?
Yeah, guitar ones.
I know Billy's got like the Dimeback guitars.
Dimebag
the,
The
signature series?
yeah, he's got because he plays in a Pantera tribute too. But he's got other guitars. I really don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
Washburns.
Dean, I think that's what
Dean,
they are.
they're Dean. I
yeah.
keep getting Dean and Washburn mixed up.
And the other guy, you don't know?
He's got a mix. I don't really,
Definitely a metal type style guitar.
Oh yeah. And
They're not playing Les Pauls or nothing.
and the thing about both of these guys, I mean, they have very limited use of effects. I mean, they don't really use a lot. They like Eric, he uses just a wah pedal,
Oh wow.
and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, no, there's no,
There's no
15
different
clean to dirty to
processors,
nothing. There's, it's not all pumped up. I mean,
That's
it's straight from the head of the guitar cabinet.
Well, just in all fairness, I guess we better mention this bass player, Cat.
Oh yeah.
You probably have affection for a bass player, being
No.
a drummer.
I like to fire them all.
They're fired. Did you hear that, Bryce Sandel?
Oh, Bryce.
But
Shout out to Bryce.
Braxton Oakenshield,
Oakenshield.
we just call him Rhett.
Todd,
You know what I mean? So
Todd Oakenfield.
yeah. So he's a great bass player. I think what does he play on, a 7-string, 6-string?
He's got a 6/7 string, I believe, but he also I've seen him play the piano, and he's exceptionally good. So he's a very, very talented human being.
Now we're not gonna find any piano keyboards on this album.
No, but
But I've seen him, and he's good.
really?
Yes.
for
You have any in the live shows?
future recordings, I want to really incorporate, some keyboards, and also he plays violin as well.
Oh wow.
And a trumpet, I think. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd
Trumpet.
really. I don't think,
That one
I
might
don't
be
think
tough to work in.
Exactly. Horn section.
He's talented. He's very good, actually. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, that's always
Quiet
better.
guy, but he's Works really hard. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's cool. And songwriting, are you who's the lyricist? Who does the melody?
Well,
and
you
music?
know, it's kind of a mix of Billy and I and some of their older stuff that had already been written. Like the last song on their Curtain Call, you know, I didn't do anything, you know, with the lyrics in that or organizing any kind of melodies or anything. Because they were already an established band and already had songs.
Right.
But, you know, there's three songs on there, though. Billy and I collaborated and, you know, wrote the lyrics and kind of went with the, you know, the tempo of the music. So, but, you know, it's a collaboration of everybody. You know what I mean? That's why we don't write, you know, we don't go lyrics such and such and music such and such, you know, just music by Black Demize.
Right. So, but do you guys, you know, come together and all the writing's done in studio, or you in rehearsal?
No,
or
it's rehearsal.
You do some and you bring it in, or you bring in a riff and say, hey, what do you guys think about that?
Well, generally, you know, I mean, for the initial beginning, they just gave me the music, you know what I mean, with no lyrics, and said, hey, do something with this, you know? And here's some music that we have with lyrics on them. And if you like the lyrics, keep them. If you don't like the lyrics, change them. So, you know, a lot of the Curtain Call on there, you know, I really liked the lyrical message it was sending. So, you know, and his name's Mike Foster, you know, and he wrote them, the previous singer to Black Demize. Very cool, very excellent dude. You know, that's his stuff, you know what I mean? And it's like, dude, you know, hope you don't mind, you know, but you know, so, you know, and actually he does it better than I do. Oh, no kidding, man. If you heard the original version of Curtain Call and then you listen to me doing it, it's like day and night, you know?
Yeah, but you're always critical of your own voice. Everybody is, you know. I mean,
Actually, I like them both. You know.
Yeah, it's probably it's got to be something different, you know. It's like you go see AC/DC, you know, and you got
Bon Scott and Brian Johnson.
Yeah, Brian Johnson's doing Bon Scott songs, you know. And, it's probably
Right.
a little different, you know.
Yeah.
You still appreciate it, you know. So,
Absolutely.
that's cool. And you guys play out live quite frequently. You got a busy schedule, busy summer coming up.
Yeah, well, we've actually been
summer,
pretty busy, actually. We all took a buddy of ours RV down to Somerville a little while ago, about a month ago, and we had a blast.
How big is this RV?
Pretty big, brand new, actually.
Brand new toy hauler.
Oh, wow.
We loaded up all the gear. And
I noticed you said was brand new.
No, I mean, we ended up staying in the parking lot, you know, and crashing there and not leaving Somerville, South Carolina till like
I can't even
8, 9 in the
begin
morning.
to imagine it. And you're all, the whole band's in the RVs.
Yeah, well, some of them slept outside, so.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's big. It's a big toy.
I have my own bed.
Yeah. Zeke's like.
No, what do you do with Black Demize? You just
I help whatever I can, move equipment, you know, help mainly the drummer, of course, you know, because he's got a huge drum set. But, you know, the amps, the guitars, the
Screams,
stands.
helps me with screams, helps
whatever
me
it may
with,
be.
you know, I mean, just out of, you know.
Just from what I like helping, you know, so I know what it takes.
Which
you
is awesome.
ever set in? You ever had a?
No, I can't play that.
So you don't play the style?
No, I mean, like I said, he's a very unique
double
drummer.
bass guy.
Yeah, I do double bass, but he's got a different style than what I do, and you know, I will have to learn what he does. But yeah,
cool.
Yeah, but Zeke's always been a great help and great supporter of all of our shows.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch coming up. We have one coming up the 11th of August in Greensboro. Mac Media Productions putting it together at a place called Shiners. And there's us, Black Ritual, Inferior Design, Saprogen, I hope I'm saying that right. They're out of Virginia or West Virginia. And another band or two, but that's going to be a pretty decent.
That's one thing I can say about the heavier metal shows. They pack them in as far as bands. I mean, you get a pretty good deal for your money. I mean, a lot of times you get
do.
4, 5, 6 bands, 4 or 5 bands.
Oh, yeah.
But that's good though, because if you don't like one, if one's not your flavor, you can kind of,
Correct.
you don't have to get in the car and go to the next bar. You can wait for another
next
band to
band.
come out.
Yeah, generally when it's band lineups like that, if you're being respectful to the other bands, you do 35, 40 minutes and get your crap off the stage, and so they can get theirs up there so they can do the same, Sometimes you run into bands that, just, want to whatever.
Well, as a singer, I mean, that's got to be like beneficial for you, right? Because you can just go out there balls to the wall, from song one and let it rip, right?
He's not even sweating yet.
Although we've done a couple of gigs that we're sweating like doggone stuck pigs,
I
I'll tell you.
think I know what you're talking about.
But it's a workout. It's like a 45-minute workout.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
right.
And for somebody like me who's like 23 years old, that takes a lot out of me,
Oh, right. Yeah,
23.
I had a little dabble in the rock and roll business. We won't get into that this episode, but I remember. I mean, we did an hour show or something, and it's like it's like running a marathon. Emotionally, it just takes it out of you, kind of the nerves. I think
Exactly.
Yeah. And even like I said, when I DJ, it's nothing like what you're doing, but it's just, knowing that people are staring at you, so you're like sitting up there, in front of a room of a couple hundred people. It can be, it can work on you no matter, how your nerves are.
Put a blank on it and just
I've learned to do
your
that.
thing.
I've just kind of go back.
And all I do is but
you get the energy to feed off.
Most of the time, I mean, actually 99.9% of the time, I feel like I'm going to throw up when I'm up there. I mean, I do.
We've talked about that.
I'm so damn nervous, I'm like dry heaving. I'm like, stop it. You have to perform.
Here's another shot.
But that probably feeds you. I would think that feeds your energy.
Man, it's like the first 30 seconds is terrifying. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then all of a sudden, you just put a smile on your face, just stare people in the eye and say, hey, like it or not, we're up here, and just do it.
Well, I'll give you props. I saw your show one time live, and man, and honestly, no disrespect to your fellas in your band, but and part of it's probably because I know you, but man, I couldn't take my eyes off of you, man. I mean, you held the crowd, man. You really, and my wife is, she's got Chris Stapleton and Miley Cyrus in her CD deck, man. She's like, oh man, I'm loving this metal. She was digging the band, so so if you can win over somebody like that, then you're doing pretty darn good. You got something a little special.
Brian is good at being an entertainer. Talking to
that's
people.
That's what I'm saying.
Going.
You can turn out a little country girl.
Well,
It usually points at me and my buddy Casey.
Stop! Don't bump into the little old lady. No.
So well, let's talk a little bit about the mosh pit, man, because I'm not a fan. I have to admit, I've never really done it, but I've been to some shows and I run for the hills, man. How do you feel about it? Is it a distraction to you on stage? Or
No, something, as long as people aren't out to hurt other
right,
people.
right.
You know what I mean? If they're in there having fun and they're not swinging their arms
but I can't imagine that there's always got to be one.
Exactly. Well, the younger kids got to do the windmill and start throwing punches in the air, and it's just like, man. Something. Never underestimate old man strength. You know what I mean?
Old man takes them out pretty quick.
We're
having none of that, young whippersnapper.
And the elbows will never come over the chest. You know what I mean? You're like, see, that's the way you do it.
Yeah, I've never really. I can't even imagine.
Am I right?
I can't even imagine being in the pit, man, especially at my age. Maybe when I was 19.
When it's a big pit. It's a lot of fun.
I mean,
if they're a bunch of just 4 or 5 people, you can get hurt.
Yeah. Well, I went to Woodstock in '94, and there was a pit, you know, and it was, you know, you're talking 250,000 people.
Yeah.
So this pit was probably as big
Yeah.
as some coliseums,
Yeah.
you know, and they were grabbing people and throwing them in the pit.
Yeah.
I'm like stepping back, you know, and nobody's grabbing me and throwing me in the pit, you know, because the pit was
Into the pit.
well, it was Woodstock. It was Woodstock, so it was mud, you know.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
cool thing to be muddy.
I got the soundtrack for that.
Let's be muddy. Like, no, Julius don't want to be muddy. Julius wants to be
Already
clean.
wet.
I'm here for 3 days, man. I'm staying clean. You
Yeah.
You know, but like I said, you know, as long as, you know, people aren't out to hurt each other, somebody
Right,
falls down, pick them back up, you know, whatever.
Right.
Have a little respect, you know what I mean?
That's how you gain your friendships too. That way
Yeah.
they look for you. They look, you know,
You
you look
look
for
out for
them.
each
You know,
other.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Have you ever had to intervene? Have you ever? You know, because you always see the shows on YouTube where. What I saw something the other day. It was Social Distortion singer or something. He went in the pit because I guess somebody was hurting a girl or something.
Yeah.
You know, or something.
Yeah. Well, we went to a Overkill Forbidden show. I mean,
Yeah.
There's a couple
Yeah.
guys in there who are just hurting people. You
Yeah.
know, people are up front and they're slamming them in the back. And
I was one of them.
Whiplash, you know,
Yeah.
giving them whiplash. I mean, women, you know, and Zeak.
Overkill.
And
It was a good time, but that guy was just out to hurt people. He
Yeah.
got me
Yeah.
a couple times. and
Yeah, you gotta
finally
make
Yeah.
some show up with that
Yeah.
intention, you know.
you know, and he actually got me one time, clothesline me and hit me across the chest, and man, my feet went up in the air and I bam
Well,
on my back, and I was like, oh no, you didn't.
but you were down off. I'm talking about on stage. Have you ever
Oh.
wanted to go from the stage into the? Or are you just
I've
not,
never
not that
noticed, no.
focused? Not that focused. from
No,
up there?
well, you know something. Actually, Dan Fest, the last one, all these guys,
Oh, yeah. I
all
was one of them.
all these guys are just, you know, it was like
Somebody pulled my hair and I went down, so
It's
it was
like-
great.
It was like a football game. Everybody went down. I was like, do I got to go down there and help somebody up? Is everybody okay?
Where's Zeak? Oh, there he is.
Yeah. I was like, let go of my hair, please.
Lots of fun.
So tell us how we can go about getting a Black Demize Suffer the Fall E EP.
Well, go on our Facebook page. That's Black Demize event page. We couldn't get Black Demize official for some reason. I don't know. You know, FaceSpace always kind of messes with you, but you can go on there and hit us up, and we can, you know, do something like PayPal and mail it to you. You know, I've mailed a bunch. I've mailed a bunch up to New York, down to Florida, Tennessee. You know what I mean? Just friends, you know, that I have, and you know, you know, they're digging it. I mean,
You guys shopping this anyway? You ever thought about doing anything
You
as far
know,
as any labels? You know, I know there's not that many metal labels out there these days, but
there's a lot of labels.
Yeah, there is. But
well, you know,
not around here.
not in Statesville. I can't imagine. Yeah. We got Metal Blade, I guess. That's
Yeah.
a pretty big one.
Well, you know something? There is thousands and thousands and thousands of metal bands out there.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
there's
tons of them.
there is so many good ones too. You know, but you know there's so many bad ones too.
Well, in this day and time, I don't know if a record deal would really help you at all. Maybe a little with distribution.
you've gotta
or
do your-
maybe
yeah.
putting you on the road or something.
Right. You know, as for, I mean, you're not going to get anything off each unit. You know, they call them units. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
Before they'd give you like, I don't know, like a 80 cents per unit. You know, when
Yeah.
they're selling them for $16.99.
$16.99,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
The record bar.
Yeah, it's like, thank you very much for my measly change. But you know, now pretty much you have to just do your own marketing, do your own sales, do your own merchandise. Merchandise is where you're going to make your money.
But the,
You know,
the
you're not-
merch and the shows, I guess. Well, five bands on the bill is probably
You know,
Spread a little
if you're
thin
going to
with
play metal music, number one, you're not going to make any money. Okay?
for you
All
young
right, people.
whippersnappers out
Yeah,
there.
for all you young guys that think you're going to the stars,
Oh, they break that heart, Brian.
you're not gonna do it. And then
But you
on
give it
top-
another shot.
No, sometimes people get lucky, and that's what it is. It's luck.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Open up for a band, maybe. That's some kind of,
just
get a big show.
For us, like we're gonna be opening up for Phil Anselmo from Pantera down in Greenville at the Firmament.
Well, hey, he's got a record label.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, passing one.
That would be,
Passing
a label like that would be like seriously really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Encyclopedia Man over here know the name of that label.
I don't actually.
I actually just heard it not long ago because I heard an interview. I was listening to an interview with him. Like I said, it's in and out.
I didn't know he had a
Yeah,
label.
he's got his own record
That's
label.
cool.
He's got real eclectic group of artists on that.
And he
it's
actually,
not all metal.
He actually plays guitar on there himself as well.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't do it live, but in the recording, I read up on an interview with him that he does, and they all play like they'll have one guitarist playing stuff to the actual beat, the drum, the rhythm. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Track.
Yeah, and then he will put something completely abstract over that, and then the other guitarist will put something completely abstract over that. So you have three guitars doing three different things, but it all kind of melts together and makes metal.
Is he playing with anybody that we might have heard of, or is it just a bunch of obscure musicians?
Well,
I don't know any of the members to tell the truth.
I think
I got his first album that I bought. I think I don't know 4 or 5 years ago up in Massachusetts.
Well, while we're talking about him, what do you guys think about Vinnie Paul passing away? Man?
Sad,
pretty tragic.
Very sad. Yeah.
Big Pantera.
Oh yeah,
guy?
big Pantera fan. Yes.
Yeah, it was kind of shocking, I guess. I was a big Pantera guy, but
Well, anything he's done, Damage Plan
Damage
or Hell
Plan,
Yeah, or even after his brother died, they came out with this album called Rebel Meets Rebel with David Allen Coe, and it's
oh really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really good actually. Yeah, it's Rex, Vinny, and Dimebag, even though he's not in there, but it was a year after, 2 years after he passed, and
recorded.
Yeah,
recording.
good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's tragic, man. 50-something years old. Yeah, so I don't know if they ever said what happened to him, but I'm just glad it wasn't a suicide these days.
I know.
It's nice to see somebody talented go, naturally
Peacefully,
anyway, instead of
something.
But they say he was a partier, man. I've heard some.
Well, that's the whole thing, I saw an interview with him, and he's like, something, touring isn't quite what it used to be. He's like, it used to be you go and you hang out with the bands you're playing with, and you're partying and drinking and having a good time. Said, now you go out and you're the only partying and drinking band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, he was a good companion with the guys from Mudvayne and I believe Nothing Phase, those bands.
I heard Jamie Jost talking about him, and he said that he actually did a festival with him. And he had to hide from him because he was so hungover. And he said Vinny was looking for him, and he said he was hiding in the bus.
I would too, actually.
Because he knew that if he got with him, that it was going to take him 3 days to recover. So
that's his.
We've all got that one friend, I guess. That, you want to go out and party? No, I'm good, man. The wife won't let me. Is that you, Zeak?
No.
That's our buddy Casey.
But I like to be home on time.
Yeah.
Which is midnight usually.
You got wife and kids?
Yes.
How many kids you got?
I got 4 daughters.
4 daughters, dude, man.
Yeah.
Boom, three,
boom.
3 over here. So I feel your pain.
And one
man.
just got married a couple weeks ago.
Wow,
so,
man.
Yeah. Very exciting.
You started young, huh?
Didn't want to, but it
DJ
happened.
Julius wasn't there for the wedding reception, man. What's up with that?
What was that? I'm sorry.
I'm just messing with you. Did Black Demize play the wedding reception?
Oh, no.
Surely you guys have never done a wedding reception.
What would have happened or could have happened,
You never know. And
So
youngest one is
11.
I've got a 9, a 13, and 14.
Yeah.
So I'm getting there in them teenage
Yep.
years, man. I feel your pain, man. It's expensive, man.
It's
Them girls.
good, man.
Oh no,
the good girls. I've been
I love my
fortunate,
I love my girls,
So,
but it's now you're of Spanish descent.
Yeah,
right?
I'm from Argentina.
Argentina.
Yeah.
So do you do the quinceañera thing?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, okay. You're not that Spanish.
He does,
then.
he does the La Bamba.
There you go. La Bamba.
That's it. Liberals are gonna have a field days with this. Look at them.
Living la vida
I knew
loca.
it. Look at the white guys picking on the Spanish guy. Oh.
No, quinceañera is a Spanish thing where the when the young lady turns 15, they have like a coming of. It's like a sweet 16.
Oh, okay. No,
they have a big celebration
Yeah.
with dances and stuff.
No, we like drinking and playing music.
There you go.
As far as all that, I have no idea.
Now is Zeak the one that plays in your backyard? Is he? You got the
Yeah.
Come over and jam?
We've dug
singerless.
We've dug a cave.
The singerless group. I need to come over there and scream into the microphone.
Yeah.
I'm
He
audition,
does
man.
once in a while, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
It's
know,
fun.
they asked me about you, and I said, well, they don't have a singer, but they jam. you know.
What kind of stuff you guys play?
It's metal, but it's not like, fast, insane
Not
metal. It's
speeds,
more like
groovish,
melodic.
a
a
little
little bit more
melodic,
mellow. Break it down a little bit.
Clutch-ish,
Yeah, I mean,
sissy-ish, you know.
Okay.
The shine down kind of style. I guess you can say.
Oh
But,
yeah.
Shine
well,
down.
we're looking for.
Did you say shine down?
Yeah, I love shine down.
I don't think I
Sorry,
can do
you just
shine
lost
down.
one
It's a
of your
mix.
cool cards.
Come on, boom. It's a mix of that kind of soft rock,
Yeah,
metal,
gotcha.
stuff like that. So.
I might throw a
But
couple
it's
songs
good,
on you. Come over there and try one out one of these days, man.
We definitely.
You do "Slave to the Grind," Skid Row?
You know,
I love that song, but probably.
That might be too fast.
we-
That's-
we-
that-
No.
That was when they got heavier a
We
little
like
bit.
yeah, and I love that album.
we
yes.
like it all. All
Yeah,
metal.
yeah,
As long as
definitely.
it's good. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, I shouldn't be picking on Shine Down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I like shit.
Yeah, they're great.
I'm just glad to see something vaguely metal be commercial. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
kind of, it's like,
Yeah.
at least the guys are getting on the radio.
Well, it's like a band.
they're not Nickelback. If he'd have said Nickelback, we'd have throw them out the radio.
I'm a metalhead, but I like Nickelback.
Yeah, Nickelback.
I mean, I like George Michael's too. But,
Nickelback gets a bad break, man. They really do. I mean,
I love music in general. Growing up with
You hear that new band Case Quarter? Hey man, you hold a Case Quarter. Sorry.
Picking up.
All right,
these, man.
listen, this is ultimate metal. This isn't doggone.
Metal.
Yeah. Anytime you want to hit stop
Well, I mean,
and rewind.
we gotta give hard rock, classic rock. We're gonna give them.
Yeah,
we gotta do a little talk.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We gotta stretch out a little bit.
That's
we
what makes
love-
music
we-
today, man.
we love it all. We love it
Everybody's
all.
got a little bit of influence.
Yeah, I mean, we all come from the same.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the Iron Maiden
Speaking
shirt
of
on.
a bunch of different metal bands, the 18th of August, there's the Beer City Metal Fest in Leicester, North Carolina, which is out towards Asheville, and it's a 2-day festival. There's 20 or 30 bands. It's just a 2-day, and all the bands are rock or metal, and they're all different styles, and it's going to be a nice mix of different bands.
And you said it's in Lancaster, North Carolina?
Leicester.
Leicester. Oh,
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
Leicester.
What area of North Carolina is that? Is that coastal?
Asheville, a little northwest of Asheville.
Wow, I wouldn't even think about
Yeah, it's
that
in the
being-
hills. No phone service. Just letting you know.
Hey, that's a good thing.
Camping.
No, it's all good though. I
You
love.
gonna bring out the
camping.
banjo for that one?
Hey, I might bring a fishing pole. I love the trout fish.
Is there any banjo in any metal songs? Let me say that might be a subject to talk about.
Yeah, actually, Warrant.
Oh yeah, Uncle Tom. Yeah, I think he did that with a guitar, didn't he? It just sounded like a banjo.
I'm thinking
Maybe it was.
Pride and Glory is Zach Wild, a little bit of banjo in there.
Yeah, they might.
yeah.
Well, I don't know if Blackfoot's considered metal. I consider them southern rock
Pretty
metal
close.
or something.
Heavy southern rock.
Heavy, yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Well, Jethro Tull, the flute, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're metal. They won the Grammy. How Metallica.
he said flute.
I didn't say skin flute. This is a family show, though. No, hell no, it's not a family show. Do not let your kids listen to this show.
This is
Disclaimer.
Yeah, PG-13 and a half.
All right, man. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're gonna play one of your tunes, man.
Hell
From Black
yeah.
Demise. This is Ever
Ever
After
After
Life.
Life.
What's the song? You got any little premise on it? Or?
Yeah, actually, it's probably not a very nice song when it comes to the lyrical standpoint because it's like trying to get revenge against somebody that did you wrong. Now don't get me wrong. I'm the most forgiving person in the whole wide world. I mean, I'll forgive anybody and everybody for anything.
Yeah. Life's
you know
too short
what I mean?
to hold grudges.
It really is. You know what I mean? But everybody runs into that one person or that one job or that one relative that you just want to beat the living out of. You know what I mean? It's just like, please give me 1 minute and I'll send you to the ever afterlife.
Is this your wife's family you're talking about?
No.
Kim, if you're listening.
No. Disclaimer, no.
Not at all.
But this is called Ever After Life.
All right, man. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to play the new single from Black Demize, Ever After Life. And we'll be back with you in just a couple minutes. Black Demize with Ever After Life.
Yeah.
Pretty kicking tune there, man. What is that, like 10,000 beats per minute? Oops. Wrong button.
Hey, man, what happened? I can't hear myself. Oh, my God. Hey. We worked with Barry Sands with Skin Jacket Studios in Morganton. Well, actually, it's Valdez, but he does a great job. He just opened up a new studio. When we did this, we kind of had to piece it together, so we didn't really have the actual live, everybody in the room playing it all at the same time.
Oh, really? So
yeah, you had to piece it together, which is really difficult to do. And to be honest with you, for me, it's kind of like singing karaoke, what I mean? Right. And so you don't get the feel. And so, some parts and some of the songs I'm just not really enthused about my performance, because live, sometimes it sounds a lot different and a little bit more.
It does.
Nothing beats live.
In my
opinion.
I'm with you.
Especially in that style of music you're doing, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If I played that for the wife, on CD, she'd probably be like, But the visual, you up on stage, and just you just feel that energy. It's like she was she's blown away by that, because she ain't seen nothing like that,
Right. It's like, oh my God.
She's never been to a metal show, We're at the Def Leppard Journey, man. Yeah, she thought
nothing wrong with that.
Hey, that was a good show, but you know what I mean. It's definitely, in saying that, man, even with the Def Leppard, the energy levels, it's not quite there even for me now, I mean, it's of course I enjoyed the show, but you don't get the goosebumps like you did. Part of the problem for me is just hearing the song too much, I mean, Pour Some Sugar on Me, man. I mean, I saw them in '87. They played Pour Some Sugar on Me, and it's like, and I see them, after hearing
all those chicks
1,000 times, later, 30 years later.
Yeah, then the women that followed them back in the late 70s, early 80s are still following them, and they're still wearing the same clothes, except they don't fit. And it's like, woo!
Oh, hey, Mom.
It was a crazy mix of, it amazed me, the audience, man. It was definitely not a rock and roll looking audience. It was like, I mean, it was the same crowd that I see when I take my kids to the circus. I'm like looking around, man. There's like housewives, and and there's like one guy got like 3 of his kids with him.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
well, at least that's somewhat of a tame environment in a sense. I'll tell you what, safe, I have seen people bring their kids. When I say kids, under 12. You know what I mean? 12 and under. And bring them up front to a metal show, and it's like, something. Are you an idiot? Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, I've seen people bring in their babies to shows, and don't get me wrong, I appreciate their love for metal, and I appreciate them wanting to go out there to support the bands, and I appreciate, everything about them, but that is not the environment for small children.
I'm with
you know what I mean?
People bring kids a lot of times to things that I think, well, why do you have a kid here? Is that kid supposed to be here? In saying that, Woodstock, I mean, back to that, I know that's an old reference, but that was a 3-day festival, and they were bringing kids up on the stage looking for their parents. We found Junior here is looking for his mom and dad, and I'm horrified, man.
Great
I'm like,
parenting skills 101.
A couple 100,000 people. You've lost your kid, man. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, I gotta tell you, there's a Carolina Rebellion.
A
couple months ago, the band called Five Finger Death Punch.
Oh wow. Yeah,
they had some 13, 14-year-old girl that had cancer, and the singer, I don't know his name, he sang a whole song with her.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really cool to watch that. But I know what he's saying, where the kids are there, no headphones sometimes, and they just
and you don't have to put them right up on the stage.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like don't put them near the stage. I mean, if you're gonna set them way back in a seat or something like that, don't put them up front, because once that pit starts going, you know what I mean.
You think about safety, I get you.
Well, I do a lot of school dances, DJ, and man, I have little dudes come up to me, 13, 12, 11, and they're like, hey man, play this Priest song or this Iron Maiden song or you know, and I'm like,
yeah,
it's cool. And I'm like, how you know that? And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, my dad's got them CDs, and it's like, yeah, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but I can't play it. Sorry, Junior. I'm not playing Maiden at the school dance.
Oh man!
but
you know what I'd do if I was his age? You know,
Yeah,
that kid, I'd be going like, man, that DJ.
and I get that. Trust me. But I went to a Tesla show at the Fillmore, and this lady had brought her son, and he was 13, and she was standing in line in front of us. And she said she was telling us it was his first concert, you know, and he's a huge Tesla fan. And I'm like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
So he's sitting at the table right in front of us, and I'm watching him, man. He's singing every song, man. He's got his fist in the air.
Good choice.
I was like, oh, man, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I was standing behind the sound guy, and they had the set list there, you know, and I asked that sound guy, you know, I said, hey, man, let me have that sound list. The concert was over.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me the not the sound list, the
set list.
Set list, yeah. And so I gave it to the kid, man. It was like gold to him, and he knew every song on it, man. So I was like,
that is awesome.
You got to carry in the torch for metal there, I guess.
That's cool, man.
Hard rock.
You're not like the mean old guy at a baseball game that steals the baseball from the kid when it gets knocked into.
Give me that set list.
You know,
now, I don't know what happened to it after he left.
You know, the foul ball, and all of a sudden you see people reaching for it, and the little kid's got it in his glove, and some adult rips it out of their glove, goes, look what I got. You know?
Hopefully he made it home with the set list. You know? Well, you know, I mean, when you went to shows, man, I mean, you always thought about that pick, man, or that good drumstick, you know. That's
it
has happened.
Set list probably, you know, I mean, maybe as exciting, but
and I'll tell you what talk about set list. One time I was working with the 322 and we were setting up a Motley Crue and Kiss show, and literally we had to put the rug out in the stage, extend the stage. You know, Kiss is a real big production.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Hydraulic
the biggest
lifts,
production,
this and that. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm just crazy off the hook.
And Motley
stuff.
Crue too.
Yeah, Motley Crue.
Well, that's a production too.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
together,
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it was like
did Tommy Lee have his roller coaster?
Probably.
He had something that spun around. I'm sure. Yeah.
But at the end of the show, you know, because I set up Gene Simmons' side, you know what I mean? So at the, you know, so he had a bunch of picks still on the ground, you know what I mean? So I grabbed the picks, and then just on the floor by his mic, there was a set list that was duct taped to the rug, right? And
the Holy Grail.
You know, so I'm like, and you know, as a stagehand, you're not supposed to, get that stuff. You know what I mean? It's just a big no. But I was like, you know something? Screw that, man. I delicately ripped that off.
Not supposed to fart in church,
right? So I was like, man, it's got all duct tape on it. It's going to get destroyed. So I folded it backwards, you know what I mean? And I stuffed it in my pocket, and I went to work. Man, I busted my freaking ass like for another 4 or 5 hours on the loadout, right? Drenched with sweat, you know. And I
know it's coming.
Yeah.
It became his
back
underwear.
to my car, and it's like a big pile of wet toilet paper.
I
was like,
that.
so much
I would have
for
kept
that.
it anyway.
Yeah. Did it have Gene on it at least? Did it have his name on it? Or
No,
it was just the song list. Yeah. And that was in the 80s, so that might have been the greatest song.
that was.
Oh, no, that was in 2000 or something. Yeah,
2012.
Right.
Yeah. That was in Charlotte here at the amphitheater.
You ever see Kiss other than that?
Oh, yeah.
How many shows you done Kiss?
Well, I don't know. Probably about, in all honesty, about 5.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm a Kiss virgin over here. No Kiss for me, unfortunately.
From like the 90s to 2000 something, I was just like,
They burned. They had their ups and downs, that's for sure. They couldn't sell tickets for a while.
You know, off with the makeup, on with the makeup. You know, Gene Simmons. I mean, that guy's a businessman.
Oh yeah,
he's
like,
that
Motley Crue show. I mean,
he's like the Donald Trump of metal. You know,
you can't beat that. That's that's two pretty kicking bands. I mean, that's I can't think of too much better of a bill than that as far as for that style of music. You know,
absolutely.
Have both them together. You know, Journey and Def Leppard. You know, some people would think that was a mix, but to me, it almost wasn't. You know, it was a little bit. a little lopsided there. And unfortunately, Def Leppard opened the show, which was really not cool. When I first walked in, I saw Def Leppard stage. I was like, Journey seemed the better lead in to me, but just because it's a little softer,
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the better shows that we've seen in a long time that I have personally was the Slayer show. With
now we're talking
Anthrax,
metal.
Behemoth, Testament, Lamb of God.
Yep.
I mean, all the bands were on point. It was just a really spectacular, showing.
But do you really think it's the farewell tour? That seems to be the thing these bands are doing nowadays. Ozzy's had 15 farewell tours, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, this is their first time doing it, so.
Yeah.
But I've heard Tom Araya wants to be with family now.
Yeah, I've kind of heard that.
I mean, that guy is pushing 60, and I mean, the music is still fresh sounding to me. The live best I've seen him.
You've seen him a lot. How many times?
5 or 6 times.
Oh, really? Wow.
But only in the last 20, 25 years. I didn't see him back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So.
What was your first concert, Z?
Metallica, as far as metal, Metallica, Danzig, and Suicidal Tendencies.
Triple bill?
Yep.
Wow.
Up in Mansfield,
And
Massachusetts.
now you said metal. Was there a something before that?
Yeah, well, because my dad is a jazz musician,
okay.
and I couldn't tell who I've seen when I was a kid, but my dad always
maybe
took.
there might be a little something hidden in the closet there.
Nah, not really.
Some new kids on the block or something.
Never liked them.
I'm just joking.
Milli Vanilli, yes. But yeah,
I don't know if I'd want to see them in a concert or not.
oh, they both bad.
Singing the track. Brian, what was your first concert?
My first? Loretta Lynn, Conway Twitty, and Charlie Pride.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where at? What was the venue?
Syracuse at the
in New
War
York.
Memorial. The Syracuse War Memorial.
So the headliner was Conway?
Yeah.
He was the headliner.
Loretta Lynn.
Wow,
and
man.
Charlie Pride.
That's got to be a snooze.
Well, he wasn't in the middle yet.
But then,
How old were you?
And then my next concert was Kiss, and then Alice Cooper.
There you go. So that was your real first concert. Now, what tour was that? That was in the 70s, was it?
Yeah, it was.
For
some reason, I want to say Rock and Roll All Over, or
we're talking Ace and Peter and.
Oh yeah, they're the original. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think he's talking like 75, 76.
Well, he said a little later than that.
Rock and Roll Over is 76.
Was it?
Yeah, Love Gun is the one before, right?
Is it? Yeah.
74,
maybe. It was like 78.
I had the opportunity. The only time I really wanted to see
that.
Kiss was in the Animalized tour. That was the after the makeup and Heaven's on Fire.
Yeah,
Kiss,
disco. Heaven's on fire.
That was I Was Made for Loving You. But that's the disco. But Heaven's on Fire is pretty close to being disco.
Now, Creatures of the Night, that was awesome. They had Eric Carr on drums, and his drum kit was on a tank.
Wasn't Vinnie Vincent in there?
Vinnie Vincent was in there. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
You seen any of the new Vinnie Vincent stuff that they've been doing online?
I've seen him.
Came out of hiding after 20 years,
I've seen him play with Rob Zombie. Just a bunch of people get together. But
really,
as far as what you're talking about, playing with Alice Cooper, I think that's what I've seen. I don't know.
No.
Might be something else.
Yeah, Vinny. That's probably. I don't know who that could be. Vinny has been in hiding for 20 years, and he came out. It's a Kiss Fest somewhere, and let's just put it this way.
I did see that.
He looked very similar to
RuPaul?
Caitlyn Jenner.
RuPaul.
Lord, have mercy.
Yeah, it was a little shocking, Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
okay, keep telling yourself that.
Well, it's like
look,
Vinnie Vincent. I'm like, that's Vinnie Vincent. That doesn't look. But he didn't. There was nobody acknowledged the elephant in the room.
I'm telling you, there's specific people that you just know. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, I know, we start talking that game, I can hurt your feelings real bad because the God, man,
Rob Halford?
Yeah,
absolutely,
but,
absolutely.
who cares, man?
I was thinking Lemmy.
Yeah.
He's the god.
Well, man, really? You pick Lemmy over Rob, man?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, well, you know.
Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, all those guys. Yeah, metal guy, of course, Rob
yeah,
Halfrey, you know.
But yeah, personal shit. I mean,
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
music goes, metal music is especially goes beyond, you know, your race, your religion, your sexual preference, your gender. You know what I mean? I mean, you know,
that's music in general, man.
Everybody
I mean,
is
every
the
kind of
same.
music, really.
Well, not really. You know what I mean? Metal people are more
forgiving,
inviting to people. You know what I mean? Because it's a place where everybody can be a what do you call it, a misfit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's true.
You know what I mean? If you're a misfit, it doesn't matter. You know.
I like the brotherhood, you know. Once you know somebody that likes
the metal family,
get talking, you know.
There really is nothing like it, and you know, with the brotherhood of metal, you know what I mean? Now, of course, you know, people do have their, you know, little, you know, hey, this band, that band, oh, that band sucks, that band's great, blah, blah, you know what I mean? That type of thing.
So where did you see Metallica at? In Suicide?
Mansfield, Massachusetts.
Is that where you lived up that way for a while?
I used to live up there, yes. Yeah, up in Mass Hole.
Unfortunately, my first show was 38 Special and Bon Jovi opened up.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
And well, no, it was
a lot of Bon Jovi.
I tell you what, man, it was Slippery When Wet. It was You Give Love a Bad Name, and there was a million women there to see Mr. Jovi.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and I have to say, man, I mean, you could just tell this is something he's gonna.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna be, and it did, man. I mean, I think half of them left when 38 Special came on. It was like, it cleared out. But you know, it was the beginning of something, you know, special with that type of music, and you know, it wasn't real heavy, but. I'm trying to think of the heaviest band I've ever seen live. I've seen Metallica, which I've got tickets for October too. I'm going.
Me too.
You gonna be there? Cool.
So far, yes.
What do you think about the no opening act, man? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I mean, they got so much music.
Yeah,
they're probably gonna play 3.5, 4 hours. You know, and
I hope so.
I'm sure they're gonna play a lot of the classic stuff.
I went against my own judgment and did some sneak peeks on YouTube. And,
so they're not having an opening act.
No.
You know, that annoys me. You know why? Because
you like it, you don't.
Bands like that had somebody bring them on stage.
Right.
Ozzy brought them on stage, picked them up out of obscurity, and put them forefront into people's ears and eyes. And for the bands that don't do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
for all these rock star, you know, big four bands and all the rest of these bands that don't go out there and find some unknown talent to bring on stage with them, you know, I think they're doing a big disservice to the metal scene.
I get your point, but in a way, the way I'm looking at it, and this is the way I justified it, was they've got such a huge catalog. You know, and there are a lot of bands out there with huge catalogs that you go to see and you don't hear half the hits. And if they had two opening bands before them and they drop it down to hour 15, you know, are you going to get to? I mean, especially with somebody that's got 5 minute, 6 minute long songs, 7 minute long songs.
Well, also before
I can see that part of it.
Well, they started the tour for Hardwire, of course. You know, I think over a year ago now. And, but my friend Shane went to see him in Florida, and they had, I think, Volbeat and Advanced Sevenfold. So they probably decided to go for part of the tour by themselves, and probably they're gonna. I get what you're saying as far as bring some young. Young people
Sevenfold don't even
that have a chance, help them out.
For the bands that have already succeeded and are out on tour and doing their thing, you said Volbeat and bands like that, and I give complete total respect to all those bands, but excuse me, it still does not sit well with me when these bands that have succeeded, with the underground following. You know what I mean?
I got you.
And they don't give back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden they're rock stars and they're not giving somebody else a chance to shine. And they're not getting any younger. No. You know what I mean? No. So it's like, something personally, if I was them, I'd say, something, man, before, I keel over and I'm 6 foot under, there's going to be some bands that are going to be thanking me for their careers, you know?
Well, in talking about that, my dissatisfaction, probably even the one thing that dissatisfies me more than the no opening band is the ticket price.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you
That's a
know, I
lot.
mean, it's
That's a lot.
it's pretty
I
up
haven't
there.
paid for it
know,
yet,
so
but it's $280.
Well,
yeah,
Lars needs another
I mean,
jet.
yeah, so it better be a hell of a show. And I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, like I said, I went against my better judgment and did a couple sneak peeks, and the production's definitely underwhelming. Which
No.
the
Just
music,
like their last music videos.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. I mean, very
You know,
minimal.
hey, let's
very
spend
minimal.
$20 on a music video and
Right,
charge
right.
people.
The stage is very. I mean, have you seen
I'm
it?
sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I don't want to give it away too
No.
much, but it's just it's like
I haven't seen him in
man.
20 years,
It's
so I'm
definitely-
actually excited.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I got
Dude,
some tickets and I got a lot of money
Metallica-
invested, man. So
Metallica-
I'm gonna be jamming, but
Yeah.
Metallica
and I'm gonna love
used
every
to
second of it, I know.
rule the world.
oh yeah. Well,
You know
they're
what I mean?
still probably the I mean, who's gonna sell more tickets to
I'm
them?
telling you, they
I don't
were
know.
the gods of metal,
Oh yeah. Well,
and
they were my
I-
first heavy metal. I mean, that was
Right.
that was the heaviest that I got into.
and I'm not taking anything
before,
away from them,
Anthrax and-
but I just don't buy it.
Yeah.
I don't see, when money comes first,
Yeah.
then the music,
Yeah.
the music kind
But
of suffers.
But a lot of times them older guys did. I mean, look at the Eagles when they came out, the Stones, man, they started hitting people with those just crazy ticket prices at the end of their career, because you want to see them because hey, it ain't gonna be much longer,
Mhm.
and it's especially that there's 3 of them at least. I mean, they do have a different bass player, but it's almost it's close to seeing an original band as you're gonna see these days.
Dude, they got legalized scalping out there.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Oh, it's-
all
yeah,
the
it's-
seats. All the seats are not supposed to be more than $69.99
Oh, yeah.
or something like that.
Ticketmaster.
And then these people buy them up,
Yeah.
and then they sell
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
and
that's ridiculous.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you would think Metallica would really
StubHub, places
yeah,
like
StubHub
that.
and,
You know what I mean? You can get
we're gonna
great
see.
tickets if you
Oh,
want
yeah.
to spend $500-600.
I'm down 5 for 2 tickets.
Oh,
now.
God.
Yeah, I know. It's
And I
it's
wouldn't
ridiculous.
pay $500.
Well,
to see
my wife,
Metallica.
I said I wanted to go, and the wife,
I'd pay $50 though.
yeah. Well, the last time I saw him,
And free beer.
the last time I saw him
And
was at
free
Woodstock in '94. That was the last time I saw Metallica, and man, I mean, I think I paid $150 for 3 days and saw pretty much every band in existence at the time. I mean, so
Dude, we
got to camp,
Dude,
so
we saw Slayer, Lamb of God, Behemoth, Testament.
yeah,
Anthrax.
that's a good deal.
$50
man.
bucks.
Yeah, that's
You know
I'll
what
give
I
them
mean?
props on that. yeah.
$50.
And they still all made money, probably.
Oh, yeah,
so.
yeah.
I won't doubt it, yeah.
Think about
What,
it,
what
think
was
about
it?
it.
What was the
Think-
ticket price for that first Kiss concert? Do you have a clue?
Oh, I don't know. It was probably like $7.
I remember
Maybe
the Bon Jovi
5.
38 special was $17.50.
Yeah.
$17.50, and you went to the Coliseum and bought the tickets.
Right.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah,
had
you
to
can
pay for
camp
tickets.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we
First
stood
come,
in
first
line.
served.
Yeah,
If
man,
it was
John
packed,
Legend.
sorry.
You used to
doors are
camp
closed.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, I'm
yeah.
telling you, that's the way it should
Now
be.
now you just don't even think, you get on Ticketmaster, buys them all up, and then
Yeah.
you got to go.
And you
to
can't even get a
Ticketmaster
hard
and get 'em.
copy ticket, for memories.
Well, that part I like now because that's pretty smooth. They show them the phone. The last couple shows I've gone to, I like the
Yeah,
have
but
to
you
keep
can't
up
put
with it.
that on your wall.
No, that's true. You can't. Yeah, so.
Or-
But I'm like I said, in all, I'll be there. Where you sitting, man? You got good seats.
I have no idea.
That's one good thing about the round.
A friend of mine bought the tickets.
Did you know that it was in the round? I mean, I'm not spoiling that. Yeah, they're playing in the round. So
Oh, I've seen videos. They've been doing that for years. but
yeah,
I didn't know they were doing it again.
yeah,
So that's cool.
they're in the round for this
Yeah.
one. So that's cool because it does make your seat a little bit better.
Yeah.
Especially if you.
Make sure you buy your $150 T-shirt
Hell
on
to
the way
no.
out.
I'll go to Walmart. I'll go to Hot Topic and get one for
You
Yeah.
can
$15.
get a pick for $25.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Look,
man.
you can get a
Don't spoil it for me.
you,
bro.
you can
would you
get-
buy a T-shirt? Were you thinking?
You
When
can
the
get
price
a-
is right, yes.
you can-
But does it have to have the Charlotte show on the back? That was what back in the day when I went to shows, you had to have the Charlotte, and
Right,
and
the
you wore it to
year, the
school the
day.
next day.
Yeah.
I was like, man,
Yeah.
look where I
Like
was
this
at,
one. This was last year concert,
Oh, yeah.
and that they had like
Oh,
probably 50 different designs
Right.
of T-shirts.
never seen Iron Maiden, and I wanted to go to that show, but
They're awesome.
But like I said, I'm just an idiot when it comes to these things because it was so high. It was another $400-500 show.
Ooh.
I was like, let me check the set list.
Because you want to get right down front.
No. Well, I'm not gonna be. I'm not being outside. I can tell you that because I ain't paying nothing to sit in the rain.
Yeah.
But stupid ass internet got me, man. I looked at that set list. I'm like, man, I can't pay that. I want to see Maiden. I want to be there, man, and feel it. I want to see it. But it was like 3 songs, man, 3 hits. Then the rest was. What,
New
Carnival
stuff.
Souls, or what was the name of it?
The Book of Souls.
Book of Souls,
but honestly, they only play like 2 songs from the album, I believe. They play even one of my favorite songs, "Wasted Years" from Soarin'.
Wasted Years, yeah.
That was the last song they play.
What I saw was "Wasted Years," "The Trooper," and "The Number of the Beast." I think that was it.
Children of the Grave. That's Black Sabbath. Children of the Damned. They play that song.
There was no Run to the Hills, man.
You're right.
And I'm a late bloomer when it comes to Maiden. Somewhere in Time was where I came in on them.
Yeah, me too, actually. Yes.
So, man, I just.
So you guys missed Peace of Mind and
I was
Number of the Beast and.
Well, I went back to that stuff. But I started somewhere in Time. So. Yeah. And I had a chance to go to that show. My sister chickened out on me. She backed out. She was scared. I don't want to go to that show.
I wish I would have gone to shows in the 80s. I mean, living in Aruba. I mean, you have coconut trees and cactus.
Well, unfortunately, I grew up with the parents that were afraid of the long-haired dudes. The metal guys. And at that time was a bad time because you had Priest was and Ozzy. The controversy, the PMRC stuff was going on.
Thank you, D. Snyder.
D. Snyder. And so the parents, I don't know.
That still happens, but
So now we listen to Fat Bottom Girls with the something Billy Jeans and the whoop.
Stop.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
This is on YouTube, man.
Well, you know what I'm talking about?
You ever seen Vince Neil doing the chicken dance?
Well, I'm just saying. I don't even know, but some. I got you, some of the vulgarity and everything, and some of the music nowadays, it's like
Cardi B. I mean, you give me a break, man.
It all comes down to the parents, to me. Teach them right, they learn.
So, you got any of the girls leaning towards the metal?
Actually, my youngest, actually, I was driving home yesterday, and all of a sudden the car started shaking. I'm like, what is going on? And she was in the back. She was trying to get me, impress me. I can't remember what I was playing, but she's like headbanging in the back seat. I was like, all right, cool.
I had a proud moment, which my daughter, I have 2 stepdaughters, but my daughter, she's into the newer stuff. She's My Chemical Romance, more punk kind of.
I know.
But at least it's not the Cardi B thing. But we were talking one day or something, and all 3 girls, and something came up with about Twisted Sister. And I was talking about the video, and I showed them that video, the original, with the big hair, and man, they loved it, man. And I was just like, you guys like this? There's so much more music out there, delve into some of this stuff. Because when I was a kid, I was jamming on my mom's 50s records, man, listening to Dion and Teenager and all this crazy stuff. Elvis,
Beatles,
and I was like, don't concentrate on this crap now. Yeah. Because by the time you get to it, it'll be too late. You get in there now, man. Yeah. Some of these bands are still around.
It's weird with me, with my daughters. Mm-hmm. I always have music in my house, in the car, but they never got into it. Maybe I just overkilled it and they got tired of it.
Well, you can't force them into it.
But I never force them to like it. I always be like, listen to this, just to give them a little bit history, Well,
when I'm in my Jeep and I have it on, man, I always got, some classic stuff comes up. I'll turn it up and I'll see them kind of digging it. They don't want to admit they dig it. They're that old man music, but you can tell they kind of like.
Well, I can say his daughter, she's a rock and roller.
Oh yeah, we all know Lacey.
Brian's daughter,
Lacey,
she's a rock and roller.
And she's coming to town, right?
Well, she just left.
Well, I mean, didn't the show at the lake? I don't know.
I don't.
I don't.
Well, I don't.
That's gonna be a while.
I've. you never know what your kids have planned.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't know.
They don't talk to you when they live in a house. I can imagine when they move out, you probably never hear from them again.
Well, I believe it's in Mooresville, right? The pontoon.
Yeah, the pontoon. Pontoon at Apps and Taps.
Apps and Taps. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Blizzard of Oz, right?
And there's another place that Black Demize will be playing September 28th. Is Apps and Taps.
What's the date on that again?
September 28th.
Oh man,
it's
yeah,
Friday.
Definitely Friday night. Thank
School
God.
place.
Yeah. I've been there a few
And our
times.
friend JD, you know.
Yeah, JD's a cool dude.
Yeah.
I've seen Black Glass
Obviously,
down
you
there a
know,
lot. I know
gotcha.
them Black Glass guys. They're carrying the '80s torch, a little lighter '80s, but still a great band.
Well, he said, you
Chicks love them.
give it a shot. You know what I mean? Throw one metal show 1 month or something. I was like, all right. Well, let me round up some bands. So I rounded up Black Ritual, who was very popular in the Charlotte area, and do very well. Annabelle Lee, they're out of Mooresville. That's their own
I've heard of them.
Good band.
It's in their, they're a really good band. And then Divine Treachery, and they're out of Greensboro. And I like them. They're like straightforward thrash band. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a good lineup,
Well, hopefully we can get people out there, and we'll definitely promote it on Statesvegas Radio because we need a good show for JD to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, as
it's such a great venue, man.
As
that would be awesome for everybody, for metal fans as well as the bands. So.
I've yet to go, but I've had friends that have gone already.
Yeah, it's a cool
They
place.
love it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you can.
Yeah.
I've been there for football games only.
The sound and lighting system is crazy, man.
I know.
JD's he's a equipment junkie, I think. Man, he's always posting his new lights on the new light.
Definitely.
Makes me jealous as a DJ. I'm like, but I couldn't haul all that crap around. But we were talking about concerts. Our first concert. Is there one that what band would you say that you've never seen that you want to, or even or can't? I guess is that one that got away?
Anymore?
Honestly, big fan of Chris Cornell. I would have loved to see Soundgarden.
Yeah, I got you on that.
In their old days,
Yeah, the first
his
Soundgarden.
voice was. I mean, he still had a great voice even before he passed, but he was like. I love the way Bruce Dickinson put it one time. He's like, nobody can do what he can.
Yeah,
he's like a mix of Rob Halford, Jeff Tate, and
he definitely was,
Robert Plant.
He can have that voice that's just melodic, and then goes crazy stuff. But yeah, that's one band I would have loved to have seen.
I'll agree with there.
Bad Motorfinger's probably on my top
10
list of best albums
I'm
of
with
all
you,
time. I'm a big Cornell fan. I missed opportunities, like I said. I tell these kids now, and I've already taken my daughters to a couple concerts at 12 and 13 because I know, man, how many of them I missed opportunities. Like I said, I missed 1984 tour. I remember when it was in Charlotte. Couldn't get, parents wouldn't let me go. I missed Stranger. And
of course.
Show I missed, and there was everybody missed it, but
I know what you're gonna say.
It was actually Ozzy on the Diary of a Madman tour.
Oh yeah,
I
remember Ozzy coming around
because they just came out with the album, and they were gonna be in Syracuse at the Landmark Theater, in 1 or 2 weeks from I mean, it was like within a week or two, and then Randy Rhoads, the whole plane thing, what I mean? It's like, oh wow,
And then
Brad
Gillis,
yeah,
but
that was for the
just for the touring.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
but
I don't think the band.
I don't think they did the tour for Diary of a Madman. It was
I don't know.
It was the Devil, or what is it? The one after that where he's.
I don't know. I think Brad Gillis came in like a couple days after. I mean, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
I thought they were in mid tour. I don't know.
No, they did. Oh gosh, what was it?
I'm not that old.
Speak of the Devil. Speak of the
watched
Devil.
a lot of
Speak of the Devil.
Yeah, I don't know.
I did a lot of podcasts and stuff. I remember. I know Brad Gillis didn't have many days to
podcast. Okay, I thought you said something else.
I'm an Eddie Trunk guy. I like Eddie Trunk. And there's a few good metal podcasts out there. There's going to be a really good one called The Ultimate Metal Show with Brian Mandigo and Zach Lascano.
Zach.
Zach.
It's y'all show, but I'm doing
Damn
all the
it,
damn
Zach.
talking, man.
It's Zeak.
Oh, oops. I'll get it right
That's
after
all right. I've been
four or
calling
five
worse.
episodes, and I'll get it. Zach,
Oh,
Zach,
man,
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
you need a little
though.
polo shirt on.
Yeah.
Zeke is
I'll have
way
a
more.
name tag.
Yeah, Zeke is way more rock and roll than Zach. That's for sure. You'll forgive me. I guess for me, the Van Halen one, with the original Van Halen lineup, was probably the one that I missed because I was close to getting to go and something happened. So
Yeah.
That's cool.
But there's still so many I haven't seen. I'm just waiting for that right tour. Now they got money, but I mean, and I got a car and money, but you know, it's
Yeah.
Even though I didn't like Diver Down, I actually seen that
Diver
tour,
Down's garbage.
and they didn't really play too much of Diver Down. But man, let me tell you something. That show was remarkable.
Well,
And
Dave, I mean, you know,
Alex Van Halen. I mean, I mean, he sat there and did a drum solo. And at the time, they used so many doggone strobe lights and everything else that this girl that was like 2 seats in front of me, because I was on the side, watching the show, and she went into an epileptic seizure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh. And of course, I was very young, and I was on alcohol.
High five.
And every other.
High five, girl.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, damn,
Well, that's good. I did get to see Van Halen, but Van Hagar, I guess you could say. And,
Yeah, that was good too.
Well, yeah. It was, I think the Foreign Lawful Carnal Knowledge show. It was at Charlotte.
Not OU8
It was,
1-2. Is it not OU8
maybe it was OU812. Yeah, one of those right in there. But it was when Eddie had the flat top, he straight out of hip surgery, I think. He wasn't very mobile, but he still, he was Eddie Van Halen. I had pretty good seats. Sammy was a little underwhelming for me, which I'm a huge Sammy Hagar fan.
Right.
I love the guy. I listen to his. He's got a cool show too. I don't know if you ever watched. He does an interview show.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it's all
That's
over.
cool.
Yeah, Facebook or YouTube and stuff. But Alex Van Halen was probably the biggest disappointment of that, and his drum solo was just so lame. I'll never forget. He played with himself. They had a video behind him of him playing drums. So it was like a track drum, and then he was playing with it.
Oh, really?
But it was like
Off.
he had a different outfit on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was very odd to me. I was just like, I don't get it. Why we don't want to hear you play the track? I guess it was supposed to be more, building.
There's two of them.
More boom, but it just wasn't. It wasn't cool. I didn't dig it. I'd rather see Tommy Lee on a roller coaster.
Well, I gotta tell you, besides not seeing the bands that I would love to see, a band that I did see that I did enjoy was a band called Avatar.
Avatar.
Yes, wow. I was very impressed by these. I think they're from Sweden. The fun there was the singer is very entertaining, talks to the crowd with a funny voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this a new band?
They've been around, I think, about 15 years, and they've changed members from what I've read. But I think the drummer and the singer are brothers, and they're phenomenal.
Cool.
Yeah, check them out.
So that's what you're listening to now, but it's not exactly a new band. What do you like right now? Anything that's should I say mainstream? Because I don't know. I'm sure you got your favorites that you probably played with and watched. Or
who do I like?
It's just so hard because there's not much to hear out there. I mean, nothing new really.
Yeah, well, I don't listen to the radio myself, so
I'll tell you what. I like the abstract kind of unknown bands, like Nashville Pussy, or Casey turned us on to 12-Foot Ninja.
Yeah, 12-Foot Ninja. That's a really cool band.
They're really.
Now, what are they, heavier or southern rock or what?
They're a mix of funk, metal. They're really great.
Everything.
You gotta check their videos on YouTube. They're hilarious.
They are just remarkable.
Yeah, I think that name sounds
12-Foot Ninja. Yeah.
But I know. I can speak for you. Wednesday 13.
Oh yeah, Wednesday 13.
Loves that band.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, cool. We just definitely have to do some more talking about these guys and future shows. We'll feature some of these new bands because somebody's got to carry the torch, man. I mean, we can only see Metallica so many years. Eventually, we're going to run out. You know, these guys are getting older.
I'll probably die
retiring.
before them.
You can still be headbanging at 70. I mean.
Maybe.
Like I said, I mean, some of them do hold on. I mean, you know, you got the Stones, they're in their 70s. Hell, Sammy Hagar's 71, I think. I mean,
yeah, he looks better than Bill Clinton, huh?
Yeah, some of the other artists that are pretty well up there? Well, Robert Plant, all the Zeppelin guys are all. Ozzy,
even the bands that started in the early '80s, like Metallica, Slayer, all them guys are pushing 60.
Yeah, they're gotta be close to 60.
You know, even Dave.
I'm pushing 50, so
yeah. And the guy Dave Mustaine, he's like almost 60 years old himself. You know?
That's crazy.
Like Phil Insomno.
Yeah, I think he's 50 years old, something like that.
Insomno.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I always say
man.
it wrong. God.
Anselmo.
But he just turned 50. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I'm like, damn.
Still rocking.
Yeah.
Well, guys, let's see. We're working on about hour and 20 minutes, man.
Oh,
was that a pretty quick? That was pretty
out.
quick hour and 20 minutes,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah, we were worried if we could fill an hour, but
Where's the beer?
all I got Gatorade or another shot of that Irish whiskey. I don't think Brian was too impressed with Irish whiskey.
Oh, it's all good. Thank you.
I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're going to end the show. Thank you guys for listening out there. Check us out at Statesvegas Radio. This show will be aired on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. and it will be followed by about 4 hours of some pretty rocking music.
That's
I
right.
guess. Local and national, regional,
yeah.
and probably probably the rest of the night. So if you haven't already, download the app at the App Store or at Google Play, or you can listen online at statesvegasradio.com. The show will also be up on our YouTube channel at Statesvegas Radio, and we'll probably do a Facebook Live show or two, maybe after we get a little more polished.
Yeah, we'll get some costumes
and also we're going to be having some call-in guests. We're like War.
We do have a poll here, by the way.
Wait a minute.
I can't. Are you volunteering?
No.
Oh no,
ladies.
There you go.
Not my wife. I just
What
ladies.
stays in States Vegas? What happens in States Vegas stays in States Vegas.
Not even Elvis over there was really impressed with that one.
Thank you very much. What do you think about that, Elvis? He's like, yeah, whatever.
Well, bringing us to.
All right, well, how about a little curtain call to lead us out? That's kind of that sounds like the end of the show. That's cool. Is that not your last song of the night? Curtain call.
Okay.
Or no, a curtain call should be the first song, maybe. I don't know.
Just play what you want.
Just play what you want.
No,
it's all good.
The boss man is here.
That's fine. Curtain call sounds great.
Sure.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see what it sounds like over this the headphones, anyways.
Well, let's hear it, man.
Curtain call.
So
once again, we'll check you guys next time.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you.